What's up, folks? It's time for another fragrance review slash fragrance comparison. And today we have Creed's Millesime Imperial. Bam! There goes a thumbnail. This Millesime Imperial smells fantastic. The scent is one of my favorites. I want to describe it to you the best I can. What I smell is I smell flowers and melons on the beach. If I could just sum it up in layman's terms, it's like eating a melon salad on the beach. And it's light, it's airy, it's got like some metallic notes to it, some light musk and some woods. But it's all in all, it's a very light and very inviting and very pleasing scent. I only have two complaints. My first complaint is that it only lasts about 3 or 4 hours and it doesn't project really strongly. My second complaint is that it's $400, $415 to be exact. Yeah, so it's ridiculously expensive, and for a cologne that only lasts 3 or 4 hours. There are a few clones slash copycats, and I have a few of them here. Ed Hardy Love and Luck, Cuba Wild Hearts, Unforgiveable by Sean John, and this Armaf Club de Nuit Milestone. Now, I have not smelled the Milestone yet. I looked it up online. There's not too many people selling it yet, and it goes for about $100. So I kind of felt that's a little too steep for a clone, or for an Armaf. And let me tell you, as far as longevity goes, they all suck. They're all terrible performers. You know, that Sean John I was using for a while, and I went through a bottle of it really quickly because you have to constantly reapply, and these kinds of fragrances just, they don't last long. If you're looking for a cologne that you could just spray on once in the morning and then just go through your day, these types of colognes are not what you're looking for, because they disappear within 3 or 4 hours. They're just pretty much gone. And let me just give you the plus and minuses of each one. Let's go with the first one. This is Love and Luck. I wore this one summer when I was Uber driving down the shore at the Jersey Shore. Every other person that got in the car complimented me on how great it smelled in the car. Extreme crowd pleaser. But it wasn't just like, hey, you smell nice. It was like, wow, it smells great in here. And a lot of them had a few drinks in them too, so I guess they have less inhibitions. But I'm telling you, like, every other person that sat in the car complimented it. There's one caveat to that story. I was constantly reapplying this when I was getting those compliments. So that's a caveat there. I did a side-by-side comparison between Millesime Imperial and Ed Hardy Love and Luck, and I've come to the conclusion that Ed Hardy Love and Luck is not even a clone of Millesime Imperial. This has similar vibes, but it's a different fragrance. So I couldn't really distinguish what it was that was causing this scent discrepancy between Ed Hardy and Millesime Imperial. So what I did was I cheated and I checked Fragrantica. After I read the notes off of Fragrantica, it made sense, because Love and Luck has cardamom and it also has agar wood, which is oud. When I read the notes, I was like, that's it. This is a different scent. This one actually smells more masculine. It smells smokier a little bit in the base. It's got that hint of cardamom in it that actually makes this an actual different scent than Millesime Imperial. So the people that are saying that this is an actual clone of Millesime Imperial, I would disagree with that. This is actually a scent in its own. And in a weird way, I actually prefer Love and Luck over Millesime Imperial. This Cuba Wild Hearts is also, by looking at the packaging, you could tell that this is actually a clone of the Ed Hardy. This smells more like Millesime Imperial than the Ed Hardy one does, because this doesn't have that like oud and cardamom in it that Ed Hardy has. This actually smells more like Millesime Imperial. Sean John's Unforgivable is also an alleged clone of Millesime Imperial, and I would have to disagree with that too. I think Sean John is a separate fragrance than Millesime Imperial. Though the Sean John Unforgivable, it kind of keeps the bass and the melon vibe, but then on the top it's got this boozy note that actually distinguishes it from Creed's Millesime Imperial. Let me break it down and summarize everything and put everything in together. Aside from this one, which I don't know about yet, I have not smelled, all of these smell fantastic, and they all put out the same vibe. You could smell differences in them, but to smell the differences, you really have to come up close. If you come up close and sniff it right off of your skin, that's when you could really smell differences. If you smell it from like a foot away and it's just out in the air, you could really, it's like impossible to distinguish between these fragrances. They're very close. Millesime Imperial translated from French to English is actually Vintage Empire. Useless information. Let's get down to the pricing. Creed Millesime Imperial is $400. $415. And you have to get it from a reputable place, the Creed boutique or reputable store, because there's a lot of fakes out there. Ed Hardy Love and Luck for the same size 100 milliliter is about $15. Cuba Wild Heart for 100 milliliters is less than $10. Unforgivable by Sean John, you can get at discounters for about $25 to $30. This Armaf Milestone, which I have not smelled and I have not even seen yet aside from online, goes for about $100. So I kind of just X that out. I don't even think that's an option at this point because it's not even out on the market yet. And if I could advise you guys, I would say if you really like this scent DNA like I do, I really love this scent DNA. If it lasted longer, this would be like my signature scent. Especially in the warm weather, this is fantastic smelling. If it was up to me, I would say Millesime Imperial by Creed is just $415 for a cologne that lasts about 3 or 4 hours. It's ridiculous. Then you're left with Ed Hardy, Cuba Wild Hearts, and Unforgivable by Sean John. If you bought all 3 of these, you're only out about $50. So that's an option. You can just buy all 3, 100 milliliters of each. That's if you like the scent DNA. So paying $415 for 100 milliliters of Creed is ridiculous. Even with pricing aside, if I was to rate these 4 and pick out 4 of them for me personally, my favorite would be Ed Hardy Love and Luck, because I like the oud and the little hint of cardamom. It gives a nice masculine vibe, and that would be my favorite. Second would be Unforgivable by Sean John. Third would be Millesime Imperial, and fourth would be Cuba Wild Hearts. So that would be my personal ranking of these 4. But all in all, they all smell fantastic. They all put out a similar vibe. If you're into this kind of scent, you can't go wrong with any of these. They are weak performing. They're all weak performing. They have short longevity, and you probably, if you really want to wear these, you have to constantly reapply it, which is a pain in the ass. That's my big gripe with all of these. Like I usually, on a hot summer day, if I'm going to be out all day, I don't reach for these because of the longevity issue. I would reach for something like a Zaro Chrome Legend before I reach for this, because something like a Zaro Chrome Legend I know is going to last all day. But that's my only gripe. But as far as scent goes, they all smell fantastic. And then I have not come across a single person that doesn't like the way they smell. I hope that video wasn't too long for you. Thank you for watching, and I will smell you later.